So they go, okay, and now, we'd like to welcome, the original cast of Sailor Moon. And there were no steps to get onto the stage. So we've got to literally climb about that high up onto the stage. We're in dresses and stuff. So it's sort of like, oh, okay.
I hadn't made it to this, so I missed all of this.
Maybe it wasn't quite that high. It was probably about that high. But anyways, we're boosting ourselves up onto the stage. We're sort of crawling up on. It was ridiculous. We get on the stage and we're sort of like, hey, hi, and everybody's like, yeah. It was like, wow, this is so awesome. They say, okay, thank you very much. Say goodbye to the old cast of Sailor Moon. And we're like, oh, okay. And we're sort of like, that's all, literally, that's all they said. So we go off the stage, jump off the edge of the stage, like we're going into the abyss, which we sort of in a weird way were. And he said, and now, put your hands together for the new Sailor Moon cast. And we're like,
because nobody told us.
There's a new cast?
Well, everyone, give a big round of applause for Linda Ballantyne and Katie Griffin. They are fighting evil by moonlight.
Thank you for coming.
So I'm your moderator. I'm just going to sit down here because,
you guys don't move up.
Yeah,
more.
come
You can come closer.
Hello. Oh, that is on. Okay.
It'll make it easier when you have questions and I need to bring around
I know
the
you
mic.
guys just wanted to make a break for it. You can't. You're here now.
You can put it up a little,
Can you?
Yeah, just pull it.
Thanks, Linda.
Amazing.
You're welcome, Katie.
Thanks.
I really care.
She
for
does
you.
care.
I do care about you so much.
It is interesting voice actors having trouble with microphones, but we won't talk about that.
Yes.
So, speaking of that, how did each of you get into voice acting? How did you come into this world?
I came into this world on a star from the universe. No, I went to theater school. Knew that I wanted to be an actor. Had no idea that voice acting existed. It was not something that was on my radar at all. But when you go to theater school, they've got a whole bunch of different courses. You don't just take acting. You take, like movement, dance, blah, 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 blah. And one of them was microphone technique. And as soon as I got in front of a microphone, I went, oh my God, I think I love this. Oh my God, I knew exactly what to do. I was not afraid to just lose myself and be a complete and utter idiot. And I just had so much fun. And so when I graduated from theater school, I actually already had an agent going into theater school. And when I went over to my agent, I said, I think maybe I want to try voice acting. And my agent said, okay, well, that's fine. You'll need a demo. And I'm like, I've got one. And they said, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll send it out. We'll start auditioning you sort of in-house, and we'll just see how you do. And I didn't even know what they were talking about. I'm going, I don't know what this in-house thing is. Whose house is this? What is this all about? So it's just at the agency. They brought me in. They said, okay, here's a commercial. I read it, and the very first thing I auditioned for, I got. And my agent went, oh yeah, I think you're going to work. And after that, that was it. My career just took off. I was really, really lucky.
Do you remember what commercial that was?
It was butter. It's a butter commercial. And I was supposed to be like this sort of granola eater, I like butter best on a mountaintop. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Fun.
And I do both. I do some on-camera stuff and I do voice acting. And I was doing just on-camera stuff. I was 20. That's what I was, 20. And I was dating, at the time, the original Tuxedo Mask. So he had already been cast as Tuxedo Mask, and they were still looking for Raye, and they didn't know who Sailor Mars was going to be. And he said, Kate, you have to audition for this. You are Raye. I was training Kung Fu at the time. I had long black hair. We've had this. Right now, you're like, Katie, Randy's already heard this story. She's leaving. She's out of here. So that's it. So I auditioned for it because I was told to, and got super duper lucky. I'm also a singer, so it came quite naturally. It wasn't a thing it was terrifying because it was Sailor Moon, but it was pretty natural for me to do that. And then I didn't look back, and that has been my bread and butter. I still fight for the on-camera. but it's definitely, you know, a roller coaster ride, whereas voice stuff has been my career.
And when Katie says it was terrifying because it was Sailor Moon, she doesn't sort of mean like, oh, it was this iconic, fantastic thing. No one had any idea what the hell Sailor Moon was.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, this is a brand new thing, this is whatever. But the thing that was terrifying about it was a way of doing voiceovers that none of us had ever seen before. Because you're not normally, if you're doing an audition or whatever, a cartoon, you do the voice first and then they draw it afterwards. And this was already done, and it was like doing karaoke to a song you don't know the words to. They didn't give us any scripts ahead of time.
Yeah.
They just put us in a room and just went, go. And it was like, okay. And you're just watching these words fly by because they talked at a mile a minute.
Yeah.
And just trying to do it as quickly as possible and just like reading a script right there, and you're just spitting it out. It was fast and furious.
And
so
not only
terrifying.
that, but the episodes were all out of order. They would bring Raye in, and I would do dialogue for episode 4, and then 7, and then maybe come back to 2. But so I didn't even have context to what was happening and relationships until we'd done a lot. And it took a lot to realize our relationship and to realize the sailors, the various, you know, qualities that they all had. And to Linda's point, like, original animation is freedom. Like, you go in and you create this character and you're developing it yourself. And that's on them to draw it and make it amazing. And you feel like you're acting. This was different. This was all technical, crazy, and acting, and hard on your voice, and also nobody made any money, and also it was just like...
And also it was in Japanese originally,
Oh, yeah.
so it's just like nothing
there's
fits.
that.
It does not make sense.
Oh, there's that too, where they would show us the scene in Japanese, and I don't know if anyone speaks Japanese here, but I'll tell you, when you hear it, if I just said, "Hi, Linda," in Japanese, it's like...
Konnichiwa.
And yeah, and it goes on forever, and you're like, what? So then they had to, anyway. So yeah, I feel like we digressed, or I digressed, but yeah.
Yeah, anime flap matching. And
Yeah,
all
we
that
were
is-
matching, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's people who, that's pretty much what they do all the time. And
Welcome.
it's, you know, yes, please come on in.
Yay.
You can join the Sailor Scouts.
More people.
Linda, you actually didn't come in until the 3rd season.
Yeah, what's your point?
Well, my point. Did you talk to Terry Hawks at all?
No, are you kidding? She was big and pregnant with twins.
Okay.
I would be terrified to talk to her. She's going to have babies, 2 babies. So she was pregnant. So no,
That's
not
why
at
she
all.
left. That's why
Yeah.
Terry couldn't do it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was also looking at her IMDb and seeing a lot of stuff that she was doing at the time, and I was like, oh, was there a conflict? But,
Yeah.
you know, twins conflict.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was a little bit of a conflict.
Well, it was
They're-
kind of funny, too, because at that time, I had literally just given birth to my 3rd, and I had 3 in 3.5 years. So they're almost Irish twins, you know? It's like, holy cow. I mean, triplets, Irish triplets. I had 3 little tiny kids. And, you know, like, they said, yes, Terry's having twins. I'm like, pfft, whatever.
Hold my beer.
I'll take that part.
All right. Well, if you guys have questions, I'll be happy to come along with the mic. If
Ask
not,
your questions, because this is the time. Fortune
I know you have
favors the
questions.
bold. People always have questions, and then afterwards they go, I can't believe I didn't ask that. It's like, ask it. We'll answer.
While you're thinking of these things, the other cool thing that happened is that when we were recording these things, I knew Linda. I knew her because we auditioned with each other. We worked together. We were in the booth doing radio commercials and other various things. And I liked her. She was fine, whatever. But we weren't friends then. And then hi, come on in. And we would record kind of separately and everything. And the really cool thing is we're besties in real life because of Comic-Cons. Like, we traveled initially with other castmates who are all awesome. We don't have anything bad to say about anybody. But we gravitated toward each other, and I feel like it was meant to be, because Mars and Moon are besties. Like, they fought a lot, but that's because they were like sisters. So anyway, it was just a little
We're
fun
just like
fact.
the
I just wanted to
luckiest
pepper
people in
that
the world.
Yeah.
When we haven't had a con for a little while,
Yeah.
then we're both grumpy.
Yeah, exactly.
And our families suffer for it.
Yeah, everybody
And then
suffers.
when the con is coming up, it's like, oh, at home you're sort of like, oh my God, it's a lot of work, you know, like, because it can be tiring and stuff.
Yeah.
you're out there putting it out there. But inside,
no,
our
we're
little
like,
hearts,
okay.
we're like,
Kaylin, 2 big sleeps.
That's all she ever does. 3 sleeps left. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, so it's pretty fun. We're pretty lucky. Yeah.
So did you ditch Tuxedo Mask?
Listen, we're friends. We're still friends. He does amazing things too. Reno Romano's a great actor. He does look him up. He's done a lot of, I think he was Batman. I don't know what he does. I should know more. I think he was Spider-Man at some point. This is all animation stuff. But yeah, no, he's a great guy. But that was a million years ago when we did this. Yeah.
Dumped.
That was like, because I'm old now. That was like 30 years ago.
So,
Oh boy.
you've done a lot of other characters and a lot of other franchises. Which of your characters do you think would be helpful to the Sailor Scouts?
Oh, that's a good one.
Helpful to them.
Yeah, go.
I think Alex from Totally Spies would be super helpful. And I actually think that Raye and Alex would be friends because Alex is very similar to Sailor Moon. And Raye would not welcome Alex and Oinky and all the craziness that Alex would bring to it. But she would love her because she's a badass. And Alex would fight, and then Raye would be like, we're going to be friends. Yeah.
I think Percy from Thomas and the Magic Railroad, because I think that he's just such a good guy. And I think that he would just think of things and go, well, did anybody think of this? And they'd all go, huh? What?
Well, you were also Wasp. I feel like Wasp
Wasp.
would see
God,
how
I never even
this
thought
is
of
why
that.
I'm
Wasp
here.
would have-
Here to help you out,
Wasp's
Linda.
gonna
I
help
got
for
you.
sure.
Got your back.
Now, which of your characters would be least helpful?
The villains. The villains. Villains are the best. I love playing villains. If I could play a villain every day of my life, I'd be the happiest person ever. And I play them a lot, actually.
She was in Cyberchase. Do your hacker one.
Hacker. Well, now let me think now. See, God,
I
you're
know.
taking me off guard here. Hacker, look at you. Better still, look at me. She's fantastic. Being like a witch or any kind of villain, they always, always, always are so sure that they are going to win and take down the world, and they never, ever do. And their fall from grace is the greatest thing to play ever, ever. And when I was doing Sailor Moon, I'd always say, could I maybe play one of the villains? And they'd be like, no, you're Sailor Moon. Damn it. Other people get to play a whole bunch of characters.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is yours.
Yeah.
All right.
I did. Oh, yeah. Oh, no,
Oh,
I don't
please,
have to
go ahead.
answer. It's
Please,
fine.
go ahead.
Well, I did Brace Face.
I was
If
gonna
anybody
say,
ever watched
Nina.
Brace Face years ago, nobody knows. Anyway, but I was Nina Harper. That was kind of the only villain that and she wasn't a villain. She was, I don't think I've ever played any other villains. Oh, yes, I was. I was in Bakugan. I was Cellon. If anybody knows Bakugan. I was Julie. I was actually Julie in Bakugan. And then Cellon, this character, came in and they wanted me to, I did a British accent. What? Because I don't do accents. I've already decided that's not a good thing for me to try and do.
Could you demonstrate
No.
the British accent?
No, I cannot. That's why I stopped, because it would torture me. I have to see a script, and then I have to break it down, and then I have to listen. I used to listen to Elizabeth Hurley, if you know who that is. She's used to date Hugh Grant. This is how I age myself. Anyway, but she had this fabulous British accent, and that's who I would listen to. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now I'm looking at you guys. Somebody raise a. There we go. Okay. Excellent.
Oh, for the love of pizza
Fun.
pie.
Here you go.
Now, I've seen you guys at Kineticon before, so do you have any favorite conventions that you like to go to and just kind of wait for them to call you every year?
Oh, good.
Oh, it is a good question. We had a lot of fun in Salt Lake.
Oh,
Yeah.
Salt Lake.
Yeah.
We've been to Australia a couple times.
Yeah, that was good. I
Yeah.
think really what it comes down to for us, we always have a good time. And to be honest, I can't think of like really terrible conventions. I mean, sometimes they're quieter than others, but when we get to travel and we're going to Australia together, that's a win. We went to Malta. That was a win, Linda.
Malta's just off the coast of Italy. Like, hello.
Yeah, that was a
Yes, I
win.
would like to go there.
Yeah.
Also, when they have huge stars there, that we're like, 'cause
Yeah.
we're like fangirls too, right?
Yeah.
This one here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! So
I'm
we
a
were
Star
at
Wars.
Toronto
Yeah.
Comic Con.
Yeah.
And This one is a Star Wars.
Yeah.
I can't even say freak, geek. Like if R2D2 ever is at a con,
Yeah.
which he's at a lot of them.
He follows
and just
me
goes
around
by,
to cons.
She's like, "Hi R2, what's that?"
What's the message, R2? And I'm like, I get
love
so
you too,
excited. And
R2.
Linda's like,
I'm
it's
just
not the
sitting
same
there
one, Katie. I'm like, Linda.
And she's like, "Get a picture with R2." "Okay, R2, look over here."
I have like 20 pictures of
I'm like,
R2.
who are
Because
you?
you know what? It's kind of getting embarrassing because R2 follows me around.
Oh my God. And so one of the cons we went to, Mark Hamill was there. And she, first of all, Mark Hamill was behind closed doors, to get an autograph, you had to go around behind closed doors. But we, as actors, get to go into the green room, they call it, and
Yeah.
that's where we just get to hang out when we're not signing or whatever. So we're there, and Katie is on high alert. Katie's like scanning everything. She's like, "Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. Like when Mark Hamill walks by, I'm gonna be like, okay, watch, do I look natural?" And she'll
Oh, yeah, I'll do it. I practiced.
yeah.
You guys are Linda, and I'm at my house. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to walk by. Okay, right now, you are Linda. I'm like, okay, I'm just walking by. And Linda's like, no, don't do that.
That does not look at natural. No. You do not do that. I'm going on and on. She tried it so many times. Then we're at the con, and I'm like, okay, give me the look again. And she'll be like,
She's
I'm
like, why are you doing that with your
wrong
face?
with you? Are you
Why?
having a seizure? What is happening here? Then Mark Hamill walks into the green room, and Katie, who's like this, just goes. And Mark Hamill, who's going to go to a table,
I was ready.
he's like this. He's just about to go to a table, and he goes. Keeps walking.
He thought I was going to tackle him. It's
goes
fine.
into the bathroom, and then Katie's like, "He's in the bathroom. He's in the bathroom." Did not come out of the bathroom. Well,
It was
while
a
we were
long
there.
time, so then I'm like,
While we were
oh,
there,
it's
we had to finally
awkward
go
now.
back to our table, and he hid. He either had a very bad gastrointestinal problem, or he was terrified of us.
Because of me.
Her.
I know, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, he didn't come out of the bathroom for like 45 minutes.
Someday we will meet, and he'll be like, oh, yeah, I love Sailor Moon.
Oh, bathroom, right. When I had to have a pizza ordered to me in a bathroom, right.
That's fine.
For thousands of years, I was on the toilet.
Exactly.
All right, we had a question here.
When Sailor Moon originally aired, it was pre-social media boom. So I was wondering if you notice any difference in energy or the way fans react pre-social media to now, where it's much easier to get a hold of you and you live outside of that vacuum of never being able to connect.
Well, we didn't know because we were doing so many different shows at the time, and we didn't know what the impact of Sailor Moon. We didn't know what the impact was going to be. We didn't know anything about it. And then I was getting some kung fu stuff in Toronto at a specialty store, and I walked into a store. Everything in this store was Sailor Moon, and that's when it kind of hit me that, oh, so much merchandise. This must be a thing. And then, of course, I bought everything. It's like grabbing it, and I plunked it down in front of the guy who he didn't speak English at all, and he saw me going crazy. He's probably terrified. And I went, I'm Sailor Mars. I'm Sailor Mars.
Sure you are, sure.
Yeah, no, he just backed away slowly. Yeah. So then, it was much later.
And now, of course, people can just write to us, right, on Instagram. Like, we're on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. So people write to us all the time. And just like, hey, I wanted you to know that, you had a really big part in my life. And it's like, oh, like I see it, and I'm just like, oh, thank you so much. And they're like, I'm literally, they're posting all this stuff. I'm literally dead right now. I'm dead. And I'm like, don't die. No, that wasn't the point of this. And, I don't really think about it because I'm just like, just a mom at home, there we go. But I got no problem writing to people whenever they've got questions about voice acting or anything, or the show. It's just like, okay, yeah, write to me. I'll answer, sure.
But definitely to your question, we had no idea
Oh, my God.
until we started doing these things, and we realized this is actually not just a really small group of fans. This is literally,
Worldwide.
it's a movement.
Yeah.
Hi.
Love your shirt.
Thank you. I have a two-part question.
Yes.
So I'm asking mostly because I'm a really big fan of this particular season. have you seen Sailor Stars, the final season of the original anime? And do you wish you could have voiced it?
No and yes, in that order. I have not seen it. Would have loved to have seen it. Would have loved to have been in it. Loved.
Yeah.
Didn't get asked to do it. Did you, Katie?
No.
No, we didn't, did we?
No, but it was 100 years later.
It was 100 years later. But
Other people take over, and you get it, where it's their baby, and they're like, okay, we got Sailor Moon. Now they want to cast it. They want to have all that. I don't begrudge anybody any of that because, although I am a little bit, there is a little, and I don't care, if I don't see anybody like recording, but Totally Spies hurt because we were all so excited. Jennifer Hale, Andrea Baker, we were so excited. We were like, they're doing another season, but somebody else had bought Totally Spies. It wasn't Marathon anymore. And we were so giddy. We were like, I'm going to be Alex again. Like just freaking out. And then they didn't want us because it was new people. And it's fine, I get it, but that one stung.
it was also frustrating for us, like because there was talk. Oh, they're talking about doing the Sailor Stars.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if anybody's out there, happily do it. Yeah, we will. Just call. So we had no idea what was happening. And we went to a Comic-Con in LA, and it was this huge Sailor Moon thing. And a lot of us were there. Almost all the
We had a
scouts
lot,
were there. And it was insane. Like, my husband actually took a video of our panel, the one that we were going to be doing. There was this lineup.
Yeah.
And he sent it to me, and he's just like, check this out. And the lineup, he videotaped for, I don't even know how long, like 10 minutes. He just walked along showing all these people, and there were thousands of people, thousands.
crazy.
It was crazy. Every single person at, what is it called? LA, oh, come on, it's
I
the big
can't
one in LA.
remember.
Anyways.
LA Comic Con?
No, it
Yeah.
was called something else though.
I know, why?
Anime Next?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was Anime X. I don't know.
Yeah,
'Cause
whatever. It
such a
was
long time
giant.
ago.
It was insane. Anyways, so one of the things, we had to go to this panel, and they're like, okay, so you're going to come over, and Katie ends up getting hit by a car.
I got it. The guy that was driving me to the convention center had PTSD from the war, from Iraq, I think. I don't know. And he had when he was driving, he was so close to the steering wheel, and I went, I don't think you're going to be able to be defensive with your driving. And he goes, no, just let me know. I'm not going to turn. You let me know when I can change lanes. That's how bad it was. I'm like, this isn't good.
I'm scared.
And then he just, for whatever reason, we missed one of the entrances. And I said, yeah, I think that's it there. Well, he just did a U-turn without checking, and we got T-boned right before this. And I texted Linda, I'm in an accident.
I was in an accident. I'm like, for real? Yes. Are you okay? I don't know. What?
I couldn't, because my ribs were bruised. And
So we're sitting there in this place, and there's thousands of people in there, and they say, okay, we'd like you to meet, and we see, first of all, on the other side, so we're on one side of the stage, then there's people on the other side of the stage that we don't even know, and all the cosplayers, like really Mac Daddy cosplayers that were like, holy cow, look at that Sailor Moon, oh my God, she looks exactly like her, oh my God. So they go, okay, and now, we'd like to welcome, the original cast of Sailor Moon, and there were no steps to get onto the stage. So we've got to literally climb about that high up onto the stage. We're in dresses and stuff, so it's sort of like, oh, okay. Like
I hadn't made it to this, so I missed all of this.
Maybe it wasn't quite that high. It was probably about that high. But anyways, we're boosting ourselves up onto the stage. We're sort of crawling up on. It was ridiculous. We get on the stage and we're sort of like, hey, hi, and everybody's like, yeah. And it's like, wow, this is so awesome. They say, okay, thank you very much. Say goodbye to the old cast of Sailor Moon, and we're like, oh, okay. And we're sort of like, that's all, like literally, that's all they said. So we go off the stage, jump off the edge of the stage, like we're going into the abyss, which we sort of in a weird way were. And he said, and now put your hands together for the new Sailor Moon cast. And we're like,
Because nobody told us.
there's a new cast? And these people come on with their cosplayers beside them. So each, please, like Stephanie Shea, Sailor Moon. She comes across, and they're all dressed like in the colors of so they had of each character. So Mars was in red, and we're just sitting there going, what? And that's how we found out that it had been cast and was already done. And they're like, and now we'd like to welcome the old cast to come and see the new show. And we're like,
And I come hobbling through the door. I'm like, Linda, with my.
oh my God. It was so weird and bad. Like, it was really
weird.
classless.
It was weird. I
really
think they should.
classless.
You know what the thing is? We are fine. We've met all of the newscasts. They're
lovely.
awesome. I'm super happy they did it. I wish they
Warned
kind of
us?
blindsided us in a weird way. Like, it would have been nice. It would have been nice. And this has nothing to do with the cast, by the way. This was just all, and I actually
way
think it
Viz
was
did
just
it.
an oversight where they were like so excited and they thought, and maybe we'll get the original cast. I don't even think that they thought they were, but it was just weird. I think it was
bad.
just weird.
It was bad.
Anyway,
Sour grapes. It was bad. It was not classy the way they did it anyways. And it was just sort of like, yeah.
Okay.
All right, good.
It's okay. We're just gonna go now.
Yeah.
But the cast themselves, they're lovely.
They're lovely.
We actually see them all the time at cons.
Katie, I did want to point out,
Yes.
you said you're being recorded. There's a camera back there recording everything you're doing.
Awesome. Do you want me to moonwalk it? Oh, about the totally spies. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. I actually don't care.
Yeah, do whatever you want. It'll be recorded. It'll be out there.
I'm really sad.
This is usually when Katie starts taking her clothes off. Is that okay?
That's
No.
fine. I mean, I can
No.
blur it later.
No.
All right, more questions. Come on.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hi, do you guys have a favorite scene or episode that you recorded on?
Well, there's quite a few of
Yeah.
them.
I know the two of us because I know which one you're going to.
Well, no, actually, you know what? It changes every time I go, because people ask this question a lot, and then I'll be like, well, which one do I like now? Today, currently, like a lot of times I'll say I loved when Serena got drunk on juice, and then she was hungover afterwards and threw up. I enjoyed that very much. I also loved when all my friends were dying around me, because that was a very, very good, excellent acting thing that I loved doing. But today, my latest favorite is when she was making out with Darian, and she had caramel, I think it was, that she was eating, and their teeth got stuck together, and it was quite fun to do that as well.
That's a good one.
I know, it was very fun. Except it was Vince, and I'm like,
I was
ooh.
going to say the dying one too because I was shocked. Like I said, we didn't get the scripts ahead of time. I was shocked. And I was looking, going, no. And I was actually sad when we were doing this.
yeah.
And just like you said, it was a really good acting exercise because it kind of freaked me out. And I was very sad, and they had that sad music. It was very emotional. But the other thing is because Raye was so serious all the time. She meant business. She did an episode where she was singing in a talent contest. And I think that was my favorite because it took her outside of serious Raye just fighting with Serena, although she was still fighting. There was still a lot of fighting. However, it was just something that you wouldn't expect from Raye. You wouldn't expect that A, she would be in a talent contest. B, she's going to be a phenomenal singer. So yeah, I think that was my favorite. Or whenever Chad was around was fun. Whatever happened to Chad? We don't know. Look at everybody. Nobody knows.
Who played Chad?
I don't even know because I never saw him. Because we would record it.
It's called the internet, Katie.
I don't know. I guess so.
We gotta look that up.
Google
Wonder
it.
who it was. This is
I feel like I did look it up. It's not
Look
one
it
of
up.
the people that we work with
Oh,
all the
really?
time. So
all right.
yeah. Otherwise, I'd remember.
God. Because we all went in on our own, right? One at
Yeah.
a time. So we just didn't get to see each other.
Yeah.
Sometime, every now and then they'd let us go in together, just, if like maybe we
Yeah.
had an argument or something like that.
Yeah. Or
All the
Jupiter.
time.
I recorded with Jupes
Yeah.
because Jupiter and Mars were in a lot of scenes
And
together.
I did with Rainey.
Yeah.
So we have another question over here.
Do you guys have like a favorite piece of art you've seen or like gift that you've gotten from a fan?
Man.
We are so
Oh my God.
lucky. We get prizes all the time. It's like Christmas morning for us. Today, we got a lot of prizes today.
Well, even like at this content, yesterday, there's a guy here. His name is Shannon. He's got a booth here.
Yeah.
And he gave us his tarot cards that he
Yeah.
had made. Have you seen them?
They're
Go
incredible.
Find them, people. They
Yeah.
are they're Sailor Moon tarot
Yeah.
cards. And
But
they
they're
are
beautiful.
No, you don't understand. You got to see them. They are so gorgeous.
yeah.
Oh my God, I can't get over it. He did
Even the
He did all
box,
the art.
it's like-
Do you know that he drew them all?
I know. He
Yeah,
told me
he's-
that.
he's-
But
it
we
was
get a lot of
unbelievable.
artwork. Yeah.
A lot of art. Love it. One of my favorite things that I ever got is I'm a bit of a hockey fan because I'm from Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Toronto Maple Leafs is my team. And a fan gave me a Toronto Maple Leaf sweater that has Sailor Moon on the back. It says Sailor Moon on the back.
And I have a Toronto Blue Jays that
Yeah.
says Sailor Mars.
And
So,
so-
sometimes when we're in Canada, we'll.
Yeah, whenever I go to a hockey game, I wear my Sailor Moon one, and people are always taking pictures of my back. And I'm sitting there going, you don't even know you're taking a picture of, you idiots. Like, come on! Am I going to have to tell you? I know it's hilarious, because people don't recognize you, right? Unless they're like a huge fan. Very,
Yeah.
very, very seldom does somebody walk over to me and go, you're Linda Ballantyne.
I try to tell my boys, I've got a 13-year-old and an 18-year-old, and this has been going on for a long time because they're Marvel and Star Wars guys, that it's a thing. Sailor Moon's a thing. They were like, yeah, all right, mom, whatever. And then all of a sudden Halloween happened. And it was a few years ago, but the last kids that came to the house, and I said, Jet, turn off the light. We're going to bed. I don't know why I'm just doing like an old lady voice.
That's what
Jet,
you
you
sound
go
like
turn
at your
off
house.
that light now. Anyway, so then ding dong. And I said, Jet, just grab the door. Grab the door. And so he opens it up. And it's not Mars, but it was Moon and Jupiter. And Jet went, Mom? And then I came downstairs, and then you know how you have like leftover candy or whatever? I just dumped it all in their bags and went, yeah, there you go. Next time you're Sailor Mars. Yeah. They know now.
Yeah, they know now.
Oh, you're Sailor Moon, eh? Anyway, we have another question.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah.
Throughout the series, there are all these different arcs, and you came across a lot of different adversaries. Do either of you have a favorite set of villains that you faced?
We get asked this, and then I looked them up and I remember them. I know 100% I loved when Zoisite, I liked her voice. I loved Zoisite. So Queen Beryl was great. Like, I like the OG stuff, but they had some great villains.
I loved the weird, quirky, strange, weirdo, like the guy, like his head opens up and nuts come out. The Nutcracker guy, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, actually terrifying. Some of the villains were terrifying.
God, yeah. So that's the stuff that I loved. And,
Yeah.
like also like Dr. Tomo or whatever with his creepy little eyes peeking around a corner.
Yeah.
And then he'd go back, and I would see Jeff Lumbie, I'd be like, you're so creepy. You're so weird. And he's like, it's my character, Linda. I'm like, no, you're weird.
Now, there were a number of Sailor Moon episodes that were made in Japan that were not brought over to the U.S. for various reasons. I don't know if you are aware of them, if you've looked into them, and if there's any that you would have loved to actually have had brought over.
Well, that was the whole Stars one, that whole season, yeah. They also cut out a lot of stuff from them. That's why there was Sailor Moon Says in North America, because if a character was carrying a gun, cut it out. If they weren't wearing a helmet on a bike, cut it out. If they weren't, like, there was all these crazy things, and then they had to fill up the time. So they went, okay, let's do Sailor Moon Says, and they put that in to make up some of the times it was long enough.
Yeah.
I would have loved, though, like, the whole Uranus and Neptune thing.
Yeah, the censorship
Cousins.
was kind of crazy. It was
Come on.
1990. They just couldn't handle it, I guess.
No, yeah, they said that, but it was like, this is ridiculous. Like, what? What? Their cousin? What? No, really?
With that music.
Their cousin? What?
Kissing cousins?
Yeah, exactly. I
exactly.
do not look at my cousin like that. That's for sure. No. So that stuff I really wish they'd, and that's why I'm also glad that they did it again. Like that they've done the reboot of it because they're getting it right this time, the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
What's interesting is a lot of the anime that's put over nowadays, they do not allow any cuts. You have to show it as is. You can't cut it. You can't extend it. You
Yeah,
can't do
no
anything like
censorship.
that. And I guess they learned their lesson after Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have other questions? Don't be shy.
we've got one.
Oh,
We've got two.
We got two. All right. First one.
Hi. How many hours are you in the recording booth in terms of anime and animation?
Well, interesting. They usually get you, I think, how long is the call usually? Is it 8 hours you're allowed? animation?
For original animation, for any of original animation, it's a 4-hour call.
4.
And for the most part, unless you're really the star of it and it's you the whole time, and you're doing multiple episodes, you're not there that whole time.
No.
Unless you're doing ensemble where the whole cast is in there, and then it can take longer. But all bets were off for Sailor Moon. I think it was 8 hours.
It was 8 hours when I got there, I just said, this is a really high voice and it will kill me. It's going to kill me dead and it will blow my vocal cords out. So I am not doing 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I said to them, you get me 4 hours. So they stuck to that and they were very, very good about it. So I was only in there for 4 hours at a time. And I would also say to them, okay, it's going to be a lot of screaming. I'm already losing my voice. Let's leave all the screaming till the end. And we'll just get through all the lines and we'll do it. And then at the end, we'll go back and any screaming or fighting or whatever, we'll go and do. So that's what I did. I just really had to take control.
And if I was there for 4 hours, which I never was, Raye would be there for, maybe a couple hours. It was because they were overlapping and doing 4 episodes at a time. Fast and furious.
But often with a show, you can be in and out of there in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done a show that I've been in there for 5 minutes, and they're like, and I always say to them when I'm signing the contract, do not tell my family.
Yeah.
I'm going home, and I'm going to say that I worked today, and I'm exhausted because I had a long day of work.
Well, you get paid the same amount of money depending on what your character is. You really do. So it is nice. I was in, I think it's on still, Agent Binky. It's based on these books. So I'm the mom. So I'm in it all the time, but it's based on the characters, all these cartoon characters. It was such a score of a job because I would go in and I would just have a few things to say as mom, and then I would leave, but I love that show.
And when she's saying as mom, there's a good chance probably that one, it was your voice, right? Was it for that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's literally going, hey guys, what are
Yeah.
you doing today? Come on over.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to do that? Okay, that's good, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there was,
Don't tell my
I
family.
warm up my voice no matter what, just because I've learned lessons. I've had vocal nodules, so I learned lessons. So I'm already paranoid. But when I'm just going to do a job and it's okay, and now I'm just going to talk like my mom voice, which is basically my voice, it's actually a score. I don't even know if I answered you. I feel like I start rambling.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Sometimes she'll shut me down and say, I can see it in her eyes. I'll just look and I can see her eyes going, yeah. Did she just do the same face?
So other than the ones you played, who are your favorite Sailor Scouts?
Oh, again, that changes.
It doesn't change for me because I know I'm a sporty person in real life and I play hockey. Jupiter would be that would be my second.
Just once you're allowed to say moon. Just once. Just lie for me, Katie.
She cries so much. So much crying.
Jupes, probably. I love Jupes. I love Mars, too. It goes right to her head. Do not tell her.
Yeah.
But
What was that, Linda?
Nothing. For some reason, though, Venus was my least favorite. I always went, she's a wannabe. Look at her. Come on. She kind of looks like her, And I would just joke, of course, with them about that. But they'd say, shut up, Linda.
Any other questions? I feel like people are waiting to come in. Are we over time?
We got one. No, we got time. It's all good. Don't worry. I will let you know.
I found him.
Oh, who? Chad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Atta
good.
girl. Atta
It
girl.
says Stephen Bednarski.
Oh, Stephen Bednarski. Okay.
Why do I not know?
I know who he is. Yeah, he's got blonde hair.
This is him.
Sometimes I don't know the name.
Actually, that's not who I thought it was. I know who that, I sort of know that guy, but this is what I'm saying, Linda. I looked him up too, and I'm like, I don't know who that is.
I kind of remember that.
Same. But it is a very small community, or it used to be. Now it's like the wild, wild west for everybody who's a voice actor. But back in the day, back in our time, it was a very small voiceover community. So that's why I said it wasn't one of the usual suspects. It was somebody that I didn't recognize, so...
It says he's from Canada, and he also played Ken, Andrew, and Fiore.
Oh, Interesting. Okay.
All right, I accept that.
I accept that.
I accept
I
it.
will know this for the next time.
I wanted to ask a question. So, what was the auditioning like?
The auditioning was terrifying for me personally because, like I said before, I've never done voice work, and this was a different level. Where I walked into the room, and it was a big studio where the screen was massive, and then they played the Japanese show. I didn't know it was anime. I thought it was a Japanese cartoon, and I could watch them. And the producer of the show was Parisian French, so she had a really thick accent, and she was really super hyper. So she'd be like, "Yeah, that's you," and I'm like, "Which one? What's happening?" And so it was just super chaotic, and even throughout that auditioning process, I didn't even know I booked Sailor Mars. But I had, and they called me back in with Sailor Mercury because we sounded the same, and we had to do scenes together, which we didn't know, because again, karaoke, not knowing the words, that's what that was like, because it's dubbing. And we sounded the same, and we had to differentiate, and she ended up doing the high stuff, which is crazy, because I do all the high stuff.
Yeah, and for me, it wasn't even so much the audition process, it's after when you get the part, because again, I was the third one, right? So it's like, okay, wow, I get this call. Okay, so you booked Sailor Moon. And I'm like, no way, what part? Sailor Moon. What do you mean? You're Sailor Moon. I'm like, wow, okay. My husband's downstairs with his buddy Tony, and I'm like, hey babe. And I remember sitting on the stairs in going down to the basement, and they're just sitting there watching whatever the hell they're watching. And I said, I just got Sailor Moon. And my husband goes, oh, no way. What part? I went, I know, Sailor Moon. And Tony goes, oh, no way. You better be good because my kids watch it. And that's when the penny dropped, and I went, oh, shit. What have I done? Like, oh, my God. This character's big, and I'm not her. I am not Terry. I don't sound like her naturally at all, because she sounds a lot like Sailor Moon in real life, and it's like, oh my God, I've got a lot lower voice, and oh my God, it was like, oh my God, and suddenly I'm just like anxiety queen, and it was just, and they just kept getting me to go higher and higher and scream more and more, and I hated the character. With everything I had. I hated Sailor Moon so much, I can't even tell you. I would be going in to do the recording crying, literally. I'd be like, I hate this. I'm just gonna be going, ah! And like higher. I'm like, ah! Like, oh my God, it was so awful. And then one day, I'd come home crying, literally crying. And my husband would go, how did it go today? And I'd be like, it's so stupid. They just make me scream. I'd say, you have to make it your own, babe. You got to just stop and you got to make it your own. This is your character. And I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. And that went on for a little while. And then one day I was just so upset I could feel everything would just tense up and my vocal cords would tighten up, and I'd be driving into work just going, I hate this so much. I hate this. And then I went, okay, if you were going to do this, if you got to start all over, and it was you that was doing it and only you, what would you do differently? And then I started having a conversation with myself in the car. And I'm like talking out loud like a crazy person. And I was like, well, I would look at who this character is and where is she, where do I want her to go, and what is this character? And I hadn't stopped and done any of that. Because it was just there, do it, just do this and sound as much like her as you can, or do whatever the hell you're doing. I don't know what you're doing anymore. So I went, okay, who is this character? Sailor Moon. She's this young kid who is tasked with saving the world, essentially. She wants to be a goofy teenager. She is a goofy teenager. Teenagers is just such a complicated order. On one hand, they want to be taken seriously, and I'm an adult, and you've got to start taking me seriously. On the other hand, they're doing stupid things, like going rollerblading with one rollerblade on, and their friend has another rollerblade, and they're trying to skate together because they've only got one pair. It's crazy stuff like that, and I was like, that's who I would want this character to be. I just want her to be goofy. And that day, I went in there and just went, this is I'm changing this up. I didn't tell them. I just started doing it the way I wanted to do it. They did not stop me. They let me just go, and that's when I started loving that character. And I just went, yeah, okay, she's mine now. I'll take her.
She's my favorite. Your version, like I love everybody. Terry's a great person, and she was great. But I like your version because it has like some interesting stuff.
Funny.
going on. Yeah. I mean, I'm biased because you're my best friend, so it's like weird.
Here's your $20.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, I'm sure you meet a lot of people throughout time, and they ask you to say like voice lines from your characters. I'm wondering, what is either the weirdest or absurdest thing that someone's made you say for a character?
For any character, or you mean for Sailor Moon?
Or just like any character.
Anything?
Like what they've got, or are you talking about the weirdest part I've ever played?
Yes.
Well, weirdest part I played a lot of weird parts, like a lot. Like I've been a whale. I love being animals all the time. I was in a McDonald's commercial. I was a cow that, wait for it. No, I'm not finished yet. It was a cow that clucked like a chicken.
It was for Easter.
It was for Easter. It was Easter cream egg thing.
Do it. It's really funny. You do her.
And so, but no. But then I had to, can you do it though? Can you tell a joke, but as a chicken? So then, I'm like, buck, 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 buck. And they're getting me to do all this, and I'm like, what is happening? Another time I had to be the voice of sore feet. All I had to say was ow, but it was for a Dr. Scholl's commercial, and I was the left foot, and I was the right foot. Now, they should sound the same, but they should have slightly different personalities, and, but they're only saying ow. It was ridiculous. Like, that's the kind of weird thing you get as a voice actor, but it's the best thing in the world. What have you done, Katie?
I know. Well, that's it. I was just thinking. I don't do the animal sounds. I don't. The weirdest thing.
There's so many weird
I know. Well, this is the thing. I don't know. I think the weirdest.
Well, how about when you were in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and you had to play the male character?
Oh, yeah, Phil.
He was fun.
Phil
was
so
fun.
basically, I was Sam Sparks in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the TV series, which was actually my favorite. No one asked me what my favorite was, but that was my favorite. And so it was a room full of boys. It was a lot of boys and me. And so they would throw these guys extra roles, and you're getting paid a ton of money to do all these extra roles. And I'm like, what? And then Sean Cullen, who played Mayor Shelbourne and Tim, so he, again, 2 parts. So he was the dad and the mayor. He said, well, Katie can do that. And it was Phil. And I'm like, yeah, I can. And it was like the best. He was a fisherman. So if you ever watch it, you'll be like, it's Katie Griffin. And it was the best because he threw me a bone. Like, he did say that. So, yeah, that was weird, but it was also my favorite. So I would come into the booth, and, Sam is Sam. It was going to be fun anyway. And then I'd come in and say, am I Phil today? Today am I Phil? Not today, Katie. You're not the fisherman today.
There's somebody in a Boston Bruins shirt.
I saw,
here.
yeah.
We're going to have to ask
nice
him.
to see you.
Can I please have security here? I'm a Leafs fan. Get that guy out of here.
Yeah, I'm afraid you just ruined the entire panel. Actually, this has been a wonderful panel. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Katie, for joining us.
We will be signing autographs, not for very much longer, so come down. If you've still got questions, come down and say hi and get an autograph, okay?
And good luck. If this is the cosplay room, are you guys all doing the cosplay? Let's go.
Let's go.
Good luck. You got this.
Big round of applause. Linda Ballantyne, Katie Griffin.
This is Kari Walgren, and you're watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like and subscribe. Plus, remember to have fun and follow your fandom.